I don't know what Sam McClure's got in.
He hates you guys, man.
I'm going to have to confront him on it because
great.
I cannot understand this, why he would continue to prosecute the case that this isn't going to happen.
It is strange.
If you've got even a skerrick of care for your integrity or credibility as a journo, you are not trying to push the case that this is falling over. This is absolutely happening. The mind boggles. I mean, he will die on that hill, and I don't understand why, because it'll be the greatest thing. I've wanted that to happen since I was a child, you know, and it's so exciting down there, and they've got great people involved, and there are big announcements coming, and can we just bloody celebrate this for 5 seconds rather than just trying to tee off on it all the time?
That was the voice of Alister Nicholson on Footy and Friends podcast following, Sam, your report on Macquarie Point Stadium in The Age and on Footy Classified at the start of the week. There was some pretty strong words and strong language, and the one that jumps out to me, Sam, is questioning your integrity.
Yeah, disappointing. I mean, for me, it's just disappointing that the story's now become about two people in the media arguing about Tasmania instead of what the real story is, and that is, you know, the viability of the stadium and the team. You know, like, we talk about prosecuting stories, like that economic report I got, just for people's background, I got it on Friday. I spent the whole weekend reading it. Then I spent all of Sunday interviewing the guy, and then all of Sunday and Monday writing it, going to the AFL, going to the Tasmanian government. Like, there's a fair bit of work that goes into prosecuting a story like that. In the end, you know, like, my job is to ask questions. So I guess I'll just keep doing that. I mean, look, as for my integrity, you know, when someone of substance questions it, I'll have a response to you. But, like, I'll leave the cheerleaders and the sycophants to talk amongst themselves, to be honest. I have no interest in giving any of that oxygen.
So, Sam, look, I work with you a lot, and you know, what you said there, you know, you would have gone to the nth degree to get the story. It's not your style just to pump something out for the sake of filling words. So, but has this not rattled you is the right word, but has it made you go, well, should I do any more Tassie stories, or if the story's there, you'll continue to report the story? Yeah,
no, it hasn't had any impact on my desire to continue to follow the story. Like, you know, the AFL, up until 5 minutes ago, have not been able to tell me when Tasmania will be given a licence to play in the AFL. We're 18 months out. Like, am I the only person in the country that thinks that's strange? You know, they haven't been able to do that because we don't have any guarantee on the stadium. Now, it's understandable that we don't. Like, if anyone's doing a reno out there, any of our listeners, it's hard. Like, doing a reno is hard. If you're building a kitchen, it's hard. If you're building a house, it's hard. If you're building a $1.5 billion stadium with a roof on it to hold 23,000 people, it's hard. We don't know everything happening in the Middle East. We don't know what the price of diesel is going to be in 3 years. So, you know, there's reasons that the AFL and the Tasmanian government haven't been able to guarantee this stadium yet. But coming back to the fact, the team was granted a provisional licence on the proviso that it came with this stadium, which we still don't have a guarantee on. That's why we don't have a licence yet. So my opinion on that, those all are indisputable facts. Separating the facts, my opinion is we have rushed this thing. I think that Tasmania should be afforded the best opportunity so that round one, whenever they're playing, should be in front of that stadium, in front of 23,000 people with celebrities in the stands, and every footy fan that can buy a ticket should be the hottest ticket in town. We should have learnt from what happened at Greater Western Sydney, Jimmy, which you saw firsthand. We should have learnt from what's happened with the Gold Coast Suns, who are playing tonight, who took the best part of a decade and a half to play in their first final series. Now, we're talking about $1 billion industry here. These are important decisions. And the AFL have a great record of bringing new things into the game and making them work. I just hope this is another one of them.
Sam, I'll ask it this way, and I'll just play the other side here. Short of a guaranteed tools in the ground that they start building a roofed stadium, what would satisfy you to call it to go to the Alister Nicholson side? That, hey, it's charging ahead no matter what. What would satisfy you? Would you need to hear? Is it simple as Andrew Dillon going, look, it doesn't even matter if there's a stadium. We've got a team in place. So, like, what would satisfy your thinking? I'm just asking, say, from probably the Al Nicholson side of things. Like, what do you need? Because he's like, celebrating.
I've never said, Jimmy, that it's not going ahead. And the imputation or the inference that I'm barracking against it is quite frankly humorous. Like, I'm just here to do a job. That's it. I couldn't care one way or the other. Like, I've always thought that it would go ahead, and I still think it will go ahead. But until Andrew Dillon gets in front of a TV screen and shakes hands with Brendan Gale and says we are granting Tasmania a permanent licence to enter the competition, we have to ask those questions. We're not doing our job as journalists if we're not.
Yeah, you must think that it's a bit different to a Gold Coast or a GWS, though. I mean, you speak about the great thing is to build the stadium and to play round one in front of it. But I'm sure even through your socials, you've probably heard the patriotic Tasmanians that they would be willing just to get this side going as soon as possible.
No doubt, Joel. Absolutely. But the difference is that wasn't the deal that Gillon McLachlan did with the Tasmanian government. Like, the whole point of it was that it had to come with the stadium, because the AFL has a fiscal responsibility to the other 18 clubs that we are not paying for this club to be existing in the next 100 years. Having a $1.5 billion asset behind it that can host other things more than just football, can host cricket matches, it can host Taylor Swift if she wants to go down there. It can be a 365-day venue. That was the deal. Now, whether Tasmanians like the deal or not, that's an entirely different argument. And I know the Tasmanian landscape particularly well. I've still got a lot of close people that are down there. I know how passionate they are about football. The Tasmanian people, the Tasmanian state, deserves an AFL team. I just think it should be afforded the best opportunity to start, to have a hot start.
Do you think in any way that they'd change the terms and conditions of that deal, that clubs might go,
well, yeah.
how are we supposed to say no when they've got 3/4 of their staff in place? We're doing, already trading deals regarding draft picks, etc. And of course, Tasmania appointing its panel to appoint its coach, and it wants its coach appointed by the end of the season. So if they have someone with the Devil's polo on by the end of the season going,
yeah.
I'm the first coach,
Yep.
could we actually get to a point where, that was the previous deal, we've got a new deal?
Yeah, I think we could. I mean, Greg Swan said on Hall of Fame night, which was another amazing night, by the way, he said on AFL 360 that there could be compromises depending on what the price of the stadium is. So everyone's thinking, well, what are the compromises? And I know Caro reported on Agenda Setters on Tuesday on 7 that, it could be a stadium without a roof. There are lots of other compromises that can be made. Like if something comes in over cost, well, you start pulling back on XYZ or ABC. I just think, it feels to me pretty fanciful for the AFL to be telling people that we're going to be playing in that stadium in 2031. That I mean, what are we now? Midway through 2026. That's soon.
What is your thinking, Joel?
Okay, I know time heals everything, but my thinking is Sam would be a very brave man to travel down to Tassie anytime soon.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'll give it a few years, Sammy.
That's nasty. That came out of nowhere. I can't go down to Barnbougle and play golf. Is that what you're saying?
I would just be very cautious with your trips down that way.
Actually, do you know what? There'd be more.
You actually might have to go through customs.
Do you know what? Create more media attention. You and I might get trumped that time. You and I just wanted to go to Adelaide on a Sunday afternoon.
Exactly.
We just wanted to go to Adelaide on a Sunday afternoon, you and I, and if we bumped into Travis Boak, we bumped into Travis Boak.
Is this when you were wearing trackies?
Yeah, when Joel wore those terrible grey tracksuit pants.
Gander, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
little drive-by from Joel to start my thinking. Okay, that's fair enough. Hey, speaking of Port Adelaide, my thinking, I love when coaches start talking about other coaches, right? And Luke Beveridge has upset Josh Carr because, they're talking about the fact that the Western Bulldogs are into Zach Butters. So, here's Josh Carr's quote. I'm probably a little bit different to some coaches. Those conversations, if I do have them, you guys won't know about them. Which took me back to your old friend Bomber Thompson. You people, all of you.
All of you.
So my thinking is, if you are a journalist worth your salt in Adelaide, tag Josh Carr for the rest of the year and see if you can catch him out meeting with an opposition player. Because if you do, oh boy, it will be a big yarn.
He was one of the great taggers himself, Josh Carr. He's a difficult man to get away from. Hey, my thinking is, and I know we'll talk about it a little bit later, and you just touched on it there, Joel, regarding the little baldy man, Gaz Jr. My thinking is it was only half a step until he completes the full step with his elevation to legend status. Of course, you need to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, but in due course, Gaz Jr. will become a legend of the AFL.
Yeah, and so should his old man too.
Oh, yeah.
Was he the best that either of you had played with or against? Gary Ablett?
Yeah.
his CV absolutely says that. We had a period too when Paddy came across from the Crows, but he played 100 games that were unbelievable.
Yeah, so
I believe.
I only got 1 year with Danger, so
so it was literally like he was match hard, and he was probably 26, and he was just absolutely in his prime. He won one Brownlow. Dustin won the one the year after, but he could have gone back to back.
Isn't that amazing as well, Jimmy? Because Joel's talking about two players that if you'd never seen our sport in your life and you're from the States, they both technically play the same position, but they couldn't be two more different players. Like, they're so uniquely different in the way they play the game, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things about our game.
Yeah, and probably a guy goes unnoticed and can be in the conversation is Matt Scarlett as well. Probably
Good call.
Reinvigorate the fullback position. You remember 2007 grand final, he had 29 touches and a shot at goal from fullback. That's just insane sort of stuff, and helped launch many of our attacks.
Can I just touch on Gaz too? Watching his film back the other night at the Hall of Fame night, just how simple his hand to foot was, just made everything. It made us all look silly. Played for so long, but my God, we played and we watched it and we enjoyed it, but there was nothing more better than the other night sitting back and reminding myself.
Well done to the little champ. Let's get to the callers. Kevin's up first. Good evening, Kevin.
G'day, guys. My thinking is that Andrew Welsh is out of his depth. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, and I know he's got Essendon at heart, but he just keeps tripping up. And you go right back to when they had the stand on merit and they didn't trade him, and that was pretty much the edict from the president. And then come to gather round, they do the article and says we're all on the same page. They have the great win over Melbourne, and then not long after that, they sacked the coach. And that sacking the coach cost them 4 years, as well as an extra $1 million on top. And now the biggest gap of all is that they've decided that they're going to go to the league and ask for an assistance package 12 weeks out before they know where they're going to end up on the ladder. So if this is not leading to the next biggest tankering scandal, I don't know what is. So
hey Kevin, you're an Essendon supporter?
No, I'm not actually, but I actually want to see Essendon back up there. I'm a Carlton supporter.
Jeez.
But I just think they're in poor hands at the moment.
Kevin, are you feeling okay as a Carlton supporter taking this much care in Essendon? Did someone check Kevin's temperature?
Look, I do despise the Essendon Football Club.
There we go.
I must admit, I want to see them back up the top. I love...
Kevin, quick question for you. In your view, who coaches Carlton and who coaches Essendon next year?
Oof.
Well, in my view, I'd like to see Hinkley coach Carlton. And as much as I dislike Essendon, I think they have no other option but to give James Hird a chance. I've forgiven him for what happened in the drug starter. He's a quality human being, and I think he's got a wealth of football knowledge, and they just need to put the support staff behind him. And I'd love to see, I guess, the fairy tale turn around.
I don't know how either of you feel about this, but I find the conversation around asking for assistance so fascinating. Like, the longer I have worked covering footy, Joel, the more that I've thought that you can't create a system which protects clubs from themselves. And that's to say that, all 18 clubs are doing their absolute best every second of the day of every footy season to win a flag as quickly as possible. If they make poor decisions that blow up in their face along the way, that's sort of part of the game, isn't it? It's part of doing business. I'm not sure I longer subscribe to the notion that if you're bad enough for long enough, Joel, that you deserve extra assistance.